Hello everyone, welcome to the day two of App Development Cohort, and this is in collaboration with Azure Developer Community. And today I'm here, Lakshit Pant, again with you, coming up with some new initiative with this mobile app development cohort 2.0, and again simultaneously running the learn.build initiative where we are focusing more around the project based learning. So right now for these 5 minutes is and if so on the day one we have covered about how to install Flutter, how you can use simulators and multiple things, Flutter Doctor, and there were some couple of uh, things that we have covered on the day one. And day two, our again mentor is here, Siddharth Bhaiya, who will be telling you, who will be guiding you about how to develop an app. And today we'll do the live hands-on training. It will be more focused on, so we'll code live on Android Studio. And I'll ask everyone to please put your learnings on LinkedIn so that everyone can see that you are learning something, you are learning in public. Yeah, Imran, I know we are working on it, and the next cohort will be hosting on Teams only. This time, because of some reasons, we are hosting it on YouTube. Because the recording is better, you has the all the access to, if you want to watch anytime, you want to recap or something like this, so the access gets better. So that's why we are just hosting it this time on YouTube. Again, so not wasting much more time, I just wanted to make quick announcement for today as well that I made. If someone has missed those announcements, so we have swags for regular winner, for regular, LinkedIn for social media posts, regular folks who will be, attending the cohort. Then second, we have LinkedIn premium vouchers that will be valid for 1 year for all, for those who will, for a few selected folks who will be outsmart all those who are present in this cohort, right? It can be through your project. If you implement any, any different functionality that has not been told in this cohort, you went ahead a little bit step ahead and you learned by your own. I know you are making something, trying out something on your own, and there are some couple of things that will result to that extra LinkedIn premium voucher subscription for 1 year. And again, we have something more coming up for you all, so just stay tuned. And yeah, over to you, Siddharth.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Welcome to the day two of the cohort. If you have any doubts related to the previous session, you can just ask in the chat itself. And after a few minutes, we will just move on to the new concepts. And basically today we will actually create a small fully functional app we will be creating. Scam है भाई सब क्यों भाई? Let's wait for a few seconds. If you don't have any doubts, we will just I forgot what happened in the previous session. Previous session, we only talked about few concepts of Dart, but we will actually use those concepts in the app itself. So today's class will be the revision of the previous class as well. So just don't worry. If you don't know about previous class, only prerequisite is if you are not set up the Flutter, please set up the Flutter. Apart from that, all all of those concepts will be again taught to you today as well. Ram Ram bhai. Sir, I'm resolving an issue related to the Flutter version. Okay. Okay, so if you don't have any doubts, I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, one doubt I can see. My friend sent me a Flutter project and I'm not able to run it. Okay, so this may be the version issue. So for that, either you need to upgrade few dependencies. So I think many of you don't know about the Flutter dependency, so it's not an issue. Just you can say it was built on some previous version. So either you need to update your version or you need to degrade your Flutter SDK version. Okay, so by using any of those two technique, you will be able to solve that issue. Please let me know. Okay, so I think this will be a specific project doubt, so you can please you can message me on LinkedIn, so and share the screenshot so I can help you there. Okay, so yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. So I believe my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so let's start with the day two. Okay, so I'm just revising few concepts of yesterday we discussed like for Flutter is a framework, and to create an app we have a programming language called Dart here, and inside Dart the first function which runs is the main function. Okay, so this part is, I think, clear to everyone here. And yesterday we have discussed few things here, like the variables we have discussed, how to create variables, and few data types which we have used was integer, string, boolean, and list and map also we have discussed. Okay, apart from that we also discussed about the for loop, and again, okay, I think if else we have not discussed, but it is basically the same. If I tell you, we just have to put a condition there, and if we and just have to write the code inside that. As all of you are familiar to at least one programming language, I think you already know all of these concepts. So I'm not just putting much time here, but instead, like, I will directly jump into the Flutter right now. Okay, so here is the Hello World project. Like, I've created a new project here, so I'm just basically running that project. Like, if you're using Android Studio, you just have to click this run button if everything is working fine there. So it may takes few minutes or seconds to run this project. It completely depends on the system you are using to build. Okay, so inside this project window, there is a folder called lib, and inside lib we already have a file with the name main.dart. Okay, and inside the main.dart there is some code written. By default code, this is written like we will completely remove this code and we will understand everything from scratch here. So what is this run app? What is this main? Like main already you know. What is this run app? And what all my app class is created? Everything we will know in today's class basically. Okay. So here the code is already running, but I will not focus on the main.dart for now. I'm just creating a new Dart file. So what you have to do, you have to click right click on the lib folder and hover over the new, and there is an option to create a Dart file. So I'm just creating this file and I'm just naming it try1.dart, and here we have a new file. And as I already told, like, the first the entry point of a Dart file is the void main, is the main, basically main function. So whatever I have to write inside this main. So I'm just printing thing. So hello, and if you want to run this file, just go on the terminal, and I have to go inside this folder cd lib and dart try one dart. And as you can see, like yesterday we used the dartpad, but today we will not use the dartpad. Whatever things like we have to do, we will do inside the IDE. So as you can see on the terminal, we have printed hello. So hello. So to print anything to the screen, we have a function named print. Like each and every programming language, we have a function with the name print. And what print actually do is to print something on the console, basically on the black screen. We have a function. So the name of the function is the print statement. So I think this is clear. And apart from that, we have a few more concepts like the if else. I'm just revising the previous day concepts. So instead of creating a variable with the int keyword, I will just go with the where a equals to 5 and where b equals to, for example, let's say 9. Okay. And if you want to print a plus b, what you can do is print uh, the sum is, and you just have to go a plus b, and you can just run this file again. Oh, something is wrong here. Okay, so what you need to do here is print, and you need to write this thing inside, because you are just uh, inside the string you are putting some variable. So for that, what you need to do is, like, if you just want to print a small a, what you can do here is, instead of writing like this, you can just add and print a. Okay, but my requirement, okay, because the thing here is a is an integer and you are converting it to string, then you just need to go and a dot to string, and it will automatically convert that here. And if I want to print here is like the sum is 5, but actually the sum is not 5. What I need to do is I just need to sum both of this thing here. So what I can do, either I can create a new variable here, variable c equals to a plus b, or what I can do is sum is, and click here c dot to string, and again I can run and I can just see here sum is 14. Okay, but if I don't want to use the variable c, I just want to use a plus b and without using the c variable, even I can do that thing here. For that I can use the, okay, so some, let's write in a more specific case, sum of a plus b, that is, and what is the value of a here, which is basically 5 here. So if I run this file, it will treat a as a string, but I want to treat a as a variable. So what I can do here is I can write a dollar symbol before that, and now it will take a and b as a variable here, that is 5 and 9. The sum of 5 plus 9 is 14. It's what is, it is printed here. But now what if I want to print a plus b directly? So I just can't write a plus b. Then what will happen here is, as you can see, it has already plus b here is in green, which means it is treating plus b as a string here. Okay, so like if I print it here, like I'm removing this part, see, and I will click dart try one. So as you can see, it has printed sum of 5 plus 9 is 5 plus b. But my requirement is like I directly have to print a plus b here. So for that you can use, after dollar you can use curly symbol and you can write a plus b inside that. And again, if you will run this file, it will print sum of 5 plus 9 is 14. Okay, so without using the variable c, you can directly print this thing here. Okay, so only concept here is like if you want to print anything, okay, inside, like if you want to use any variable inside a string, you can use dollar symbol here. uh, so I think this is pretty clear. I will share this code with you, so it doesn't matter. uh, in the WhatsApp group you will get this code. uh, let's just again take the if else example here. So I'm just writing here if a plus b here, and I will write a is greater than b here. And again I will write the else statement, so it also support else if. So if there's a requirement to add a else if statement, you can add it there. uh, so b is greater than a. Okay, and again you can add a condition for equal to as well. So for now, as our value, as we can see, b is greater, so else part should run. So as we can see here, b is greater than a is getting printed. So all of the concept here, like what we have in the, and in any other programming language, if else variables, so all of those concepts are here as well. and and almost the syntax is same. So if you have any doubt, like you can just google that thing, like how to implement switch case as well, or how to add for loop. So basically I've already told about for loop as well. So it is basically a the same keyword like what you are using in C, C++, and other programming language. Okay, so this part is, I think, already clear. Another thing like what you can do here is you can create another file here. Oh, okay. So before we go on to that, let's talk about function as well. So basically the idea of function, I think almost all of you already know. So if we have a code like which we want to use again and again, then we can use function here. So for example, let's create a function with the name of email. Okay, and the use of this function is to send an email to the user. Okay, so let's just go with the print statement, and uh, and I will just write email is sent. Okay, so inside this function, like we can write the other logics, like how we can send an email to that user. But for now, like it is not important to us. Like, and if you want to just call this email function, so inside this main we can call it this function as many times as we want. So that try that one, and email is sent is called. Like again, if I want to send an email, I can just call it multiple times, and it will just call this function many times. Email is sent, email is sent. Okay, but now again, if we have any requirement to send a specific email to a specific address, then we will require email id as a parameter. Okay, and that email id, if you want to use it here, email is sent to, for example, and email id. Okay, okay, so if I want to send like what we call this as a parameter function, so we have added a parameter here, and if we want to send an email, we just have to uh, write the email id of that user here, for example, a.gmail.com. And again, and if I will run this file, and it will say email is sent to a@gmail.com. And if I want to send this email to some b@gmail.com, then again I have to just change this thing here. So this is basically the thing which which we get in each and every file. uh, each and every programming language we have functions, so this is basically the same thing here. uh, I'm just revising this concept, like this concepts are also present in the Dart language as well. Okay. And as we will be using functions many times, and so I'm just making this thing familiar to you. For example, let's just create another function here. Okay. The use of this function is to do sum. Okay, someone. So I've created a function named someone, and what this someone will do is to print the sum of and I'm adding two parameter here, a comma b, and what it will do is it will print a plus b. So if I want to call this function, what I will do, someone, and I have to just pass the values, for example 2, 3, and if I will run this function, it will print me the sum. So as many as times I want to do the sum of this, I can just call this function. Okay. But now my requirement is to store this value, store the value of 2 plus 3 in some variable. Okay. So for that, what I can do is, like, I can create a new variable, and inside this I can store this value. But the problem will be here is I can't use this value after that. Yeah. After this, in this block I can't use this value. That c variable will not be, I will not be able to access that variable there. So for that we can use the return statement. So what I will do is, instead of printing this value, what I will do is return a plus b, and I can store this value inside another variable c. And if I now, as many times as I have to use this inside my code, I can use this value. And let's just see. So, and everything is same, like it is itself printing a plus b here, but now we can use this value. That is, we can use this value. And basically the requirement, you will basically know, let's take an example of the login sign up page. Okay. So inside the login sign up page, uh, the user has entered his phone number or the email id, and we want to use this email id afterwards in our code basically. So we can just store that value inside a variable, and we can use it as many times as we want to use in the future. So I think this is pretty much clear to you. uh, so what we have just talked about functions, like how to create functions in Dart. And again, like, you can also set the parameter, like by default it is of I'm not added here, but I should add here, like int sum, and for this case I'm not returning anything, so it is void. So you can just add this thing if you want, but if you will not add, it will, as it as it can automatically on the runtime, it can know. Okay. So what value you are returning, so on behalf of that, it automatically detects that part. Okay. So another thing we have just talked about the parameters function. Another thing what we have here is, let me just create another thing here. Basically what I will do is, I'm creating a new function here with the name register user. Okay, register user. So just imagine this is a login sign up form, and whatever fields we have in the login sign up form, like it can be name, email, phone, and city, for example. Okay. So I think the four parameters are good for now, and I will just print all of those. Okay. So name, and if I want to print name. Okay. So for now I'm just printing name here. Name is okay. So if we want to register a new user, I have to just call this function, and I have to pass all the name, email, and all of those things here. Okay. So it is treating email here. So what I will do is, let's just remove this email for now. Okay. So now what will happen here is, like, I can just put the name here, for example Sid. Email, we can write any. So I'm just putting like this as well. So email, phone phone number is 123, and city here is Delhi, for example. Okay, so when I will run this code, the registered user will be called, and here. So now what will happen here is I just want uh, to access the name, so I can access the name from here. Okay, but the problem here is like, imagine if this is a very much long form and it has 20-30 parameters here. Instead of 4, we have 20-30 parameters. Now like if I want to do this thing multiple times, okay, so I have to remember the value, like the first one is a name, second one is the email, third one is a phone number, and fourth one is a Delhi. And what if I will change the order again, like if I will change the order to some phone number and email? Now what will happen here is I have to just remember like whichever place is present where. Okay, so the solution to this is, what we can do is, I'm just creating another function, register username. Instead of just directly putting the name here, we can use what is called as named parameters. Okay, so for using the named parameter, you have to put your parameters inside the curly braces. And now what will happen here is, like if I will call this function, instead of directly passing this thing, what I will do here is, with the colon name, I have to pass the name, and again what all things available here is. For that, you can just press control plus space and you will be able to know what all parameters are available. Now it doesn't matter that the last parameter what we have is the city, but I can pass this as the second parameter as well, Delhi, and it will now work. So this is basically name, city, and whatever things you have to write here, you can just uh, instead of the position, it will be refer with the name here. So email, email one, email two, basically, and the phone here. So I think this part is pretty much clear. The reason the parameter function will be used in Flutter many times. So if this concept is not clear to you, please tell me in the chat. I will explain it once again. Or if it is clear, I will go to the next topic. So if it is clear, you can just write in the chat it is clear, and we will move to the new topic. Okay, it is clear. Okay, it's pretty much good if it is clear. Okay, so I think the function is clear, parameter function is clear, and the named parameter is also clear. Now suppose we have a requirement here. Okay, just imagine like you have opened a login sign up page in a WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp, you're creating a new account. So what it will first ask, it will ask for the phone number, and here is the field of the phone number, and on the left side it also has a field for the country. uh, if you don't know, there's an option for the country, and the by default what it select is the +91, which represent like it already know with the our network that you are referring to the India. So what it's actually happening here is, like we just don't want to put the India here. It is by default there. If you want to change its value, we can override that thing. Okay, so we can even do that thing as well. And how, I will just tell you in a minute. So I am just adding a new parameter here with the name country. Okay, and I just don't want the user to put the India every time. I will just select like the by default value is the India, and if the user want to change the country, for example he want to select the US, so if he doesn't select the US, the by default value will be the India. So for that, I can just after country I can put equal to and write in the double quotes India. So now what will happen here is, like if I will not put the phone number here, so it will show some error here. Okay, like if I will run the code here. Oh, okay, just the thing. Okay, because it is inside the name parameter, I will just go here to explain this concept better. So I'm just adding this inside the country here. So now as soon as I have added the country, it is showing some error. As you can see, the 5 position argument expected, but the user has found only 4 here. So now what I have to do, but I just want to, if I will write it like this, India, and just a minute, let's, it will be better. Okay, if I just write it here, country equals to India. Okay, so I'm just removing this part here. Okay, so now what will happen here is, if I will print instead of name, if I will print country is, and I'm just printing the country, uh, and running this file again. So as you can see, the country name is India. Okay, so let's just create another thing this here. I didn't define, I've added the name here, city here, email here, but I have not added the country here. Okay, so like if the user is specifically change the country here to the, for example, US, and now you can see, like if I will run this file, so for the previous case, I have not added the India as the country here, but in the second case, I have added the country to the US. So it has automatically override this thing from India to the US. So the concept is basically this the same. Uh, like you can just decide the by default value of that parameter. So the by default value of the country is India, and if you want to change the value of the India in that case, so in that case you can override that thing here. You can pass it as a another parameter and you can override that value. So I think this concept is also clear to you, and I'm just directly going to the main.dart. So okay, so again let's just revise the concept here. So the first entry point in the dart is the void main. Okay, is the void main. So the first thing which runs in the dart file is the void main. Okay, but in the Flutter case, we have a file. We have a file which runs first, and that file is the main file. So in the Flutter, the whenever we run a new code, the first file which run is the main.dart, and you can also see this file is available here inside the lib folder, the main.dart. So this is again the by default file. We can even change that thing, but it's of no use. The by default file here is the main.dart, and inside the main, just a minute, it will be better if I will write this main.dart. And again, as this is a dart file, and the first thing which runs is the main function. So again, if I will just go to this code, just a minute. So again, if I will just go to this code, main.dart, so you can find the void main function here. Okay, and inside that void main function, we have the run app. I'm just removing this code from here, and and instead of this, even I'm removing this, and I'm just running this code here. So as I've already run this file, so I'm just starting this code again. Okay, so what will happen here is, inside Flutter, the first file which run is the main.dart, and inside main.dart, the first function which run is the main. Okay, so now we can write as many things as in the main function as we have previously wrote. It can be the try one, like to create a variable to print something. Okay, but that all things run inside the console or the black screen. So whatever we want to print inside the console, so for that we are using the print statement. So that is the function here. Okay, so my requirement is like, I just don't want to run my code to that terminal. I want to run my code to the mobile phone. Okay, so for now we have, for that we have a function called the run app. So this is a function. So this is the entry point again of the mobile app thing. So this is not, let's just not say mobile app, for the application. Okay, because Flutter supports mobile, web, iOS, and desktop. So this is the first thing of our application, basically the UI thing, whatever we see on the screen. So that part is started from the run app function. So as I will go here, and so as I've not written anything inside the run app, so that function is not called. So what I have to do, I have to just go and I will type the run app function here. Okay, so I think this part is clear, and uh, let's just do one thing. I'm again running this file here. So okay, so here we have got few errors. Okay, so as I've already told, uh, by default Flutter supports material UI. So what we have to do is like we just have to use the material UI. So again, for that, the Flutter team has already built everything for that. The SDK they have completely built. We just have to use that function, and the name of that function is the material app. So I'm just again going it here, and inside that run app, I have to go for the material app, and I'm just running this code again. And again, as we can see, like some kind of black screen we can see uh, on the phone screen here. As we have not added anything here, so it is just a plain black screen code here. So if we want to add many features here, we can add as many things we want to add here. So just a quick revision, like what we have done here. First thing for the Flutter is the first thing which run is the main.dart, and after the main.dart, void main function runs. So void main function. Inside void main, if we want to like as we are executing the our code inside some application, so the first file which run is the run app function. And as we are using the design language which we will be using is the material app. So again, we have the function for this. So I think this hierarchy is basically clear to you. uh, so here we have this thing. So I think this part is very much clear to you. Okay. So again, if you want to print something to the console, basically to the terminal, for that we have a function called print. But my requirement is not to print on the terminal. My requirement is to print something to the screen. Basically, the mobile phone screen. I want to print something. So for that we have a function called text. Okay. So again, print is print again is a function which is used to print something to the black screen, but my requirement is to print on the screen of the mobile phone. For that we have a function called text. So for now, I will not be using the print function, but instead I will be using uh, okay. So before I move on to that, so inside material app, okay, so what exactly is happening here? Run app is a function and material app is again a function. So like in other programming language, you can pass variable inside a function as a parameter, like what we have did here. We have passed the name here, we have passed the phone number here, but now we have passed the function. So yes, in dart, as dart is a functional programming language, you can pass the function inside the parameter of another function. So run app is a function, and the parameter of the run app function we have passed the material app. Okay. And inside material app we have various different parameters available, and all of those are the name parameters. As you can see, actions builder, like we will go in some time and we will understand more of them. And there, and for my requirement is like I have to print something on the home of this screen. So here I have a parameter called the home, and what I will do here, I will write something here, text hello. Okay, and I'm just running this file again, and as you can see, the hello is getting printed over to the screen. Okay, so now you will say like it is not looking good. Yes, I completely agree with you, it is not looking good here. But the thing, like what I want to explain it here is, run app is a function and material app is again a function. Okay, so what I'm going to explain you, like nobody will actually explain you, they will just say that ye hota hai basically. Okay, but now what exactly here is, material app is a function and home is the parameter. Home is a name parameter. Okay, like, and the value by default it has was the null, and we have override that value with the text value. Okay, so if I hover over this, it asks for a widget. So everything in the Flutter, like whatever we do is a widget. Instead of, they will whatever we see on the screen, they called it as a widget here. So text is a widget. Again, text field will be a widget, and whatever things we want to do will be the widget here. Uh, just a quick, uh, if that is clear to you or not. Okay. Mohammad Imran, the variable we have created will be available in different classes. For that, you need to create the static variable. We will go in the further classes, and I will tell you how to do that part. Uh, is this part clear to you, the name parameter and the thing to the material app thing? Is that thing clear to you? If this is clear to you, then we will move on to, and we will create some kind of UI here. यहाँ तक तो done है. Okay. What is better, Flutter or Kotlin? Okay, so in the previous class, again I explained Kotlin is just used to create an app for the Android, And by using Flutter, you can create an app for almost all of the platform, Android, iOS, web, and whatnot, like desktop and embedded as well. Okay, so I think this part is clear. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this part is clear. So as the UI here is not looking much good, because hello is not looking good again. So as again I have told, the Flutter team has done everything for us, and we just have to use that part. Okay, so like in basically in the normal app, what we call, so we have a kind of specific kind of UI. We on the top we have a kind of a app bar, and on the right we have a kind of menu button. We can just drag and drop. On the right we have the kind of floating action button, what we call. And well, so the basic structure here is on the top we have an app bar, or either, if I talk about Instagram, on the bottom navigation bar we have kind of the buttons which we can use. What we call here is the bottom navigation bar. So this is an app bar, this is a bottom navigation bar, this is a floating action button. So the what I'm trying to say here, the almost all of the app we have the similar kind of UI, whether it is a WhatsApp or it is an Instagram, Gmail, or each and every app. So they have a kind of a I agree. Like the UI may be different in some of the things, but the things are almost the same in each and every case. Like we have a drop down from the left to right. We have a button uh, on the bottom here. Okay, so this thing is pretty much common in each and every app. And what the Flutter team has done, like they have documented this all of these things. Like if you want to place this thing, so you just don't have to create this again and again. So their team is already created, and you just have to use that thing. So inside Material app, we again have a function called the scaffold. And scaffold has all of this property. It has the app bar, it has the body, it has this button, it has a drawer, each and everything it has, and we just have to use that thing. So I'm again just to the code, and inside uh, so I've just removed the text function here, and instead I will use the scaffold here. So again, scaffold is a function. I will just run this code, and now as we can see is the white screen. So as we haven't added any of this functionality here, so I'm just to go inside scaffold. And again, this is a function. Okay, so this also have a parameters, and we just have to override its parameter. So how to override this, and like how to know about this function? So first thing that you can do is scroll over this scaffold, and you will find the many things about this function. Like it has a body, app bar, and all of those documentation you can find here. And okay, so like for example, I want to create an app bar basically. Okay, so what I will do here is I will press Control plus space, and I found many parameters here: app bar, background color, body, drawer, bottom sheet, and it has many parameters, and I just have to override this thing. So for now, I'm just going with the body, and inside body I'm creating a text widget with the name hello, and I'm just running this file. So uh, as you can see that hello is not visible to you basically, but it is printed on the top right. As we can see, it is getting printed, but I just don't want to print it here. I want to print it on the center of the screen. Okay, for that we have another widget. So I will just remove this text, and inside center what I will do, I will write the same thing, hi, and I will run this code. So now we can see the high is getting printed here. Okay, so now so if you want to increase the font size of the high, or if you want to just make it bold or change the font and the color, and each and everything here. So again, inside the text, if I will press comma and I press Control plus space, we will find many parameters, and the by default some value of, so we have a style available here. Okay, so again, I just don't know what okay, so style again is a parameter, and it is some kind of data type. Like previously here what we have is the name. Okay, so here we have is a style. So I just don't know what kind of data type is the style. Okay, so again, if I just go here, and I'm just going and register user and name. So I just don't know like what exactly thing I have to pass, whether it is a string, name, integer, boolean, what value it supports. So I will just hover over the name, and it will tell the dynamic. The reason it is telling dynamic, because I have not defined the it here. if I will write the string here, the string name, and uh, couldn't have a value null. Okay, so string name. Okay, so now if I will hover over this, and I will see that this supports string. Okay, so by this value, you will be able to know like this is of which data type basically. So I just don't know the what data type the style support. So after, as I've hovered over this, and I just got to know, okay, the style support the text style. So again, I will write the text style, and again, the text style is again a function. And if this is again a function, we will be having the various parameters here. So like again, like if I will start from here, material app was a function. Inside material app, we again have a scaffold as a function, and again inside scaffold we have a body as a parameter, and inside body we have another function with the name center, and inside center we again have a parameter named child, and inside child we have added text, and inside text we again have added the text style. So this is basically a tree here, inside scaffold, center, text, textile. So and what we call this tree is a widget tree. Okay, so this is a basically a widget tree inside. So uh, so let's be more technical here. So here what is exactly happening is uh, the parent and the child here. So so for the text, the center is the parent, and the child of center here is a text. Okay, so basically our requirement was to increase the size of the height. So again, I'm pressing Control plus space inside the text style, and here I've found a property with the name font size. Okay, and here as you can see, the font size supports the double here. Again, I can hover and I can show it supports a double. So by that logic, I will able to find, and let's just increase its size to 25, for example, font, and I will run this code, and you can see the size is increased. If I want to increase the size more, I will just write 40, and I can increase the size. If I want to change few more properties, I can just press comma, control plus space, the background color. If I want to change the color here, and what data type that this color support, I can just hover over this, and I can write color, and okay, and I can just put a color, whatever color I want to put to this text box. So I just put the yellow color. Again, if I want to, again the colors supports all of those colors, so red and all. Again, if you want to use a specific hex code, so instead of color you can directly write it here, and you can just add the hex code here inside this color uh, function. So for now, their team has already created this thing. So I will just use this, and I'll just use colors.red here, and I will run this code, and the color of high will be changed here. So my focus here is not to teach you just about the text function. My main aim is like everything is every widget will be the same hierarchy kind of thing. Inside text we will be having another widget, inside center it will support another widget basically. So it might be quite confusing for you, because till now whatever programming language which you have learned was not functional programming, that it doesn't support function as a parameter. For now you will be putting a string, integer, and all those as a parameter, but now you can pass function as well as the parameter. So basically all the new kind of programming language, like which are the new, uh, uh, it can be some other programming language as well. So all of the new programming language, the users are now creating, the developers are now creating, are all functional supported. Like you can pass the function inside the function, and the use case of this is like you will find in the few further classes, like why they have used this kind of architecture to create the Flutter app. So any questions, like please ask. I will just repeat that thing again. Scaffold is a class, scaffold is a function basically. Like you will know more about this thing in the further classes, because like we will be using this thing multiple times in the further cohort as well, for the lectures of cohort. Please explain once more about home. Okay, I will explain that. Which software is better to do coding? If you are asking for the Flutter, so there are two majorly used. First one is the Android Studio, like which one I'm using right now. But you can use VS Code as well. So Those are just IDE to write the code. Okay. Please, okay, home. Okay, so what home here is, again, the material app supports multiple parameters here, like multiple parameter we have, we have actions, builder, color, background, initial routes, many more things. But my focus was to create, to just focus on the home part here. Yeah, like if I just give you an example, like apart from home, like if you want to create an app bar here, like you can just go control plus S, and okay, okay, so we have the app bar inside scaffold, not home, so it was my mistake. So so we have various different parameter here. So inside material app as well, we have various different parameters, like like on the top right you can see the debug banner, so I can just remove this debug banner as well. Okay, so I'm just selected debug show banner, and I just don't know the data type of it. So bool debug show banner equals to true. As you can see, the by default value is equals to true here in that case. This is the same thing like what we have done here. Country equals to India. Okay, so this is the same thing which we have done here. So again, if I if I will just create again registered viewers user, and I will just write country and I will hover over the country. This is the basically the same thing. Dynamic country equals to India. The reason it is showing dynamic here is I am uh, not specified the data type of this one. So for that reason, it is showing the dynamic. Like I will, if I will write the string here as in that case, so it will again write string country equals to India. So so the thing like which I want to show here, like this thing is exactly the same thing like what we are getting here. The by default value is true, but I want to change its value to false. And if I will run this code again, and as we can see, the debug show banner is false. Okay, so the home is again a parameter, and inside the home, whatever thing we have from here to here that we see on the screen, that part is supported inside the home. And again, we have various different parameters, but as this is a first class, so I will not move on to all of them. But in the further class, you will be able to know like what is exactly the material app, and what all things it supports basically. Okay, so I think it's clear. Now you use IntelliJ. Okay, so Android Studio is created by IntelliJ, so that's the reason you are finding its UI the same. So it's not IntelliJ, it's Android Studio. Any more questions? If no, like we will move on to further. If it's clear, like guys, you can ask. So it will be better for me to understand because it is a YouTube live stream, so the interaction is not there. Okay. Is any online platform for Flutter? No. I use IntelliJ of Flutter or not. Basically, I think you can't use IntelliJ. Uh, Obviously, for writing the code you can use, but if you want to run that code, you will be able to run write that command from scratch to the terminal. So obviously, you can use IntelliJ as well, but but if you if you are using IntelliJ, like I will tell you, go for the Android Studio, because in Android Studio you will find the buttons, you will find each and everything compatible for writing the mobile app code. Do you take attendance for the cohort? Yes. At the end, Lakshit will share the form for the cohort. I'm implementing map using Map My India API. Yes, Map My India is good. Okay, so I think no more questions. So I'm just revising this class for now, like whatever things like we have done here. So the first thing, the entry point here is the main dot dart. Inside the main dot dart, we have void main function. Again, we have the run app function. We have the material app, scaffold, center, textile. I think each and everything is clear. So again, I'm just teaching you a new concept here. I'm just creating a new file here with the name try to dot dart, and I'm just creating a new function here with the name new one, and uh, and I will just write the function here is inside try to dot file. Okay. Okay, so if I want to print this thing from the try one dot dart, I can print that thing. Only thing I have to do here is I have to just type here the new one, and what it will do here is, and if I will run this file, you can see inside try to dot file. Okay, so what here actually happened here is try to dot dart was another file, but inside that we have some kind of functions here. Okay, and how we exact, but this function was not created here. So what exactly happened here is, as I'm using the IDE, so as soon as I try the new one, it automatically import this package. So again, so this file was there in another, so this function was there in another file, but as I want to use that function in my file, I have to import this file, and I can just call this function. And this exact same thing has happened here. As soon as I type the material app, so the material app file, so material app function was written in some another file, and that some another file name was flutter slash material dot dart. And who created this file? This file was created by me. This file was created by me, but this file is created by the Flutter SDK team. That is, the Flutter team has created this material app function. So so this is just a function, like I just want to prove to you, like this is a function which is created by some other guy, or some other Flutter team, and we have just used that function the similar way, like I've created this function and I use that function here. The similar way, the material app function we have created, the material app function we have used, which was created in the material.dart file. And inside that file, again, we have another function, scaffolds, center, textile, and all of this. And the complete package of this, what we called as a Flutter SDK. Okay. So I think this is quite clear to you. Okay. So for now, I think it is good for now. Few more widgets like we can discuss today. Okay, so that's how we have created a body. Like if I want to create an app bar, I can create an app bar. For that I just have to write. Okay, even I don't have to write, I can just press Control plus space, and I will find various options here, app bar. Okay, and again I just don't know the app bar, so after that I can just type app bar. So again, app bar is a function, and what all things app bar support I don't know, so let's just run by each and every step, so it will be more clear to you. So a new app bar is added here. But why the color is blue? We haven't set the color to blue. Any guesses? Why the color here was blue? What is stateless? We haven't. In the next class, we will discuss about this. For now, I didn't show about stateless or stateful. So in the next classes, when we will discuss about classes, then we will go to stateless and stateful. How can we add two widgets in the main file? Okay, just showing you further. Okay, so my question here is like why the app bar color is blue? Basically, just answer that thing. Apart from that, everything will be cleared in the further sessions. Okay, so I think no guesses. So let me just tell you, like what exactly happened here is, like if I will uh, go to the app bar, and we have another parameter available with the name background color. And if I will hover over this, and the by default value what it supports is a blue color. So that's the reason, like a similar way we have added the country to the India. So the similar way we have the by default value of the background color to the blue. This is the same thing which has happened with the font size as well, because we haven't set the font size by default. And if I will remove this thing, okay, so if I will remove this thing from here, and so the high has been decreased. So what exactly happened here is, there's some by default value of the high, and you can even find it in the documentation, so you will find that value. So that same thing has happened here as well. Okay, So my requirement is I have to put some text here. Okay, so again I will press control plus space, and I will find like if I have any widget which I can put it inside this. Okay, so I have a title and I can put my title here. So title here is this, and as title again supports widget, so I can put as many widgets, so I can put any widget here. So for now, like only widget which we have learned today is the text, so I will put text here and I will write our app name. On Instagram you have seen the Instagram is written there here. You And again we can change the font size, font color, or the font here. Again by pressing this, comma and control plus space, we will be getting the style property, and we can override this property and change the color of each and everything. Okay, so I think this part is clear to you. So just try out today with this part, and tomorrow so this was a single screen page, and in the next class we will be focusing more on the how to put uh, multiple visit inside the box, like how to add an image, how to add a box, and how to create the UI much of kind of a real app. Okay, so for now we have just we have just learned the text widget. So just try to replicate this thing in your system. Okay, I will share this code with you, the try one, try two, I will share each and everything. Just play with this, try the for loop, try creating a new function, try creating how to print. So you will basically all the core concept will be clear to you. So for the next 3-4 days you can try this, and again I will share you a video link which you can try. Okay, so basically a few concepts I am not told to you right now, but it will be better like if you can just try with that, and on in the next session you will learn more about that. Okay, so the video link, I'm just going to the YouTube. It is a YouTube video link. uh, okay. Okay, so this is my channel video. I will just share the video link with you here. Lakshit, you can please share the link to the chat. I think Lakshit is not here. Okay, so I don't have access to the chat, so I will just share you this thing in the WhatsApp itself. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can just ask, and that's it for today. Instagram is built on React Native. Yes, Instagram is built on React Native because which is better. Okay, so in the further classes you will be able to know which one is better. Okay, by default, I missed the attendance of previous class. You can just message Lakshit because Lakshit will be the right person to answer this thing. Guys, if you don't have any question, like we can end this session, or let's just wait for 2 more minutes. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer. Okay, guys, thank you so much. See you in the next session. Bye.